Alpha Team, what's your status?
Copy, Archangel. We have breached the ground floor of the facility. We met some Foundation resistance outside, but we made it through and are progressing forward. Over.
Roger that, Alpha Team. There's a good chance that we'll lose contact once you go further into the facility. Let's confirm mission objectives again before you go. Your objective is to navigate and investigate SCP Foundation site. Using whatever means necessary, you must make it to the heart of the facility. We can't advise you on what could be in there, so you'll have to think smart when it comes to what dirty secrets the Foundation's been hiding. Look through available data to find out how to get through its systems. In order to... Once you're in the heart of the facility, you must...
Copy again, Archangel. Further facility access has been gained. Be advised we'll be descending, so communications might fail.
Roger that, Alpha Team. Good luck, and God save us all.
SCP-5K could be amazing. Right now, it's surprisingly good for what it is and how long it's been out, considering it launched in early access of February this year. But after my first full run of the Area 12 mission, and seeing the already great yet janky Foundation, I knew this game could be a standout example in the tactical shooter genre, with an excellent side of horror if done right. The visuals can be stunning, the gameplay is smooth yet intricate, and the levels of atmosphere are dripping in some of the more fleshed out areas. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's run over the basics of what SCP-5K is, and even for those less enlightened, what the fuck an SCP even is. SCP stands for Secure, Contain, Protect, and is the motto of the fictional SCP Foundation. Its goal is to research and contain anomalous events and items. If it's vaguely paranormal, then the SCP Foundation is involved. In our reality, SCP is a website that houses a collection of stories written by people all across the globe. To quote the website itself, imagine if magic was real, but instead of using fantasy-style magic, it's described using science fiction terms, meaning whilst technically unrealistic for us, it can be easier to separate yourself and immerse in the world when instead of an unruly cave monster caused by a witch's curse, you have an eldritch horror that feeds off the fear people feel when they see it, with no rational reason for its existence other than some redacted data and scraps of clues about a legacy long before mankind, and somehow the involvement of a secret agency that has powers above any government. Anyone can contribute to the SCP Wiki. They could make up their own monster, item, or situation, or they could just be like me and browse the excellent stories written. A lot of them try to be creepy, unsettling, and sometimes stay in the back of your mind, making you think twice about a future real-life situation. Some others are just jokes, but do a good blend of the two, like SCP-3008, aka the Endless IKEA, filled with nothing but row after row of room displays, where you're unable to perceive time, and at night hordes of faceless mannequin-esque monsters roam. This website is a passion project from everyone that participates, and it shows. Some SCP designs and fan games have become very popular on the internet, such as SCP-173, aka Peanut. You'll have probably seen it as the monster that you can't look away from, as it can only move when you blink or look away. Basically a Doctor Who weeping angel. The absolute fuck ton of stuff people have made for this imaginary world is unreal, and this has spurred many a media and fan game as mentioned, including the excellent fan film Overlord. And the best part about it is it's completely open to use for whatever media you want, so long as proper attribution is given. Most of the SCP games have been survival horror with a small side of action, whereas SCP-5K flips the ratio. Whilst maintaining a heavy horror atmosphere for the most part, the wide variety of customization and firearms emphasize a much more action-oriented experience. So where does SCP-5K fit into all of this? That's an easy and a difficult question to answer. Technically, there are so many alternate realities, reality resets, and differing timelines in the SCP universe, you can't really tell on its own. But the developers made a handy timeline to show what source material they are borrowing from and how their version of SCP events go, as to provide a mostly easily understandable timeline of their version of this universe. But that's enough about the lore. Let's talk about the gameplay and the unique combination of detailed milsim tacticalness mixed with abstract horror and otherworldly anomalies. So SCP-5K is a PvE-themed tactical shooter. Whilst PvP is being worked on and experimented with, it's not the focus for this game. The main goal for this game is performing raids on SCP facilities. This involves going through diverse and incredibly thematic areas, looking for keycards and codes to unlock new areas, light puzzle solving, and killing lots of abominations. The shooting is actually really good in my opinion. Guns feel good to shoot. They sound nice and have a really great range of customization options to make your tactical toy look sick as hell. They have a surprising amount have guns to choose from, ranging from 7 different pistols to LMGs, shotguns, sniper rifles, and some of the most iconic assault rifles available. Because this game also has a milsim influence, you have a lot of control of your character, with basic leaning also having good gun clipping detection to stop your gun going through the wall. You have the ability to inspect and toggle different aspects of your gun. You can keep it at low ready to follow proper firing safety procedure, and it even has a separate toggle for point fire instead of hip fire. It really feels like they tried to go with a grounded character controller in an otherwise surreal setting at times, and it feels great. Also, the sights on the guns, proper chef's kiss for them. The best way to describe them is crisp and clean. I didn't find one single sight that I didn't like. Even though in these games I'm always an Elcan Spectre or EOTech Hollow fanboy, they all felt really great to use. You have this good gun and character controller to slowly make your way through the huge facility, and along the way you're looking for environmental storytelling clues, finding codes to unlock doors or weapon resupply areas, solving environmental puzzles such as following cables on the wall to find the correct power unit to turn back on. While some of the puzzles felt a bit obtuse at times, this could also be attributed to my monkey brain. I still really enjoyed that aspect of the game. You go from fighting a big horde of monsters to some tense downtime trying to figure out how to open the next gate, to then opening it and unleashing another horde of abominations upon you and your squad. One thing I really loved was the actual duration of the levels. The raid on Area 12, which can be done solo or with up to 4 other players by default, took me and 7 randoms a full hour to complete. With each section completed, you really feel like you're descending deeper and deeper into a mysterious facility with no end in sight. The other currently available level is not as long, but it still fits the thematic nature of the game. Less people play this one as it's more of a combat encounter with AI enemies with guns compared to monsters. But what I really fucking loved was the visual design of some of the deeper areas. Now before I get into it, the levels in this game are still a work in progress and might not have been fully fleshed out with items. You'll reach weirdly empty corridors, strange shaped walls, and some areas that do just feel unfinished. But on the counter side of that, areas that have been fleshed out look phenomenal, like the cinema section. This is my favourite area. You have this incredibly brutalist architecture, mixed with nice vegetation and open plan design, and it just looks stunning. Walking down the cinema corridors, seeing reflections of the monitors on the floors, the lights, the colours, it all just looks so good. The enemy models also look good. Their animations though can be a little bit of a detractor. Not that they are inherently bad, but when a horde of 20 or 30 zombie looking enemies are all doing the same run towards you, it can detract from the excellent atmosphere the game has tried to set up. I don't really want to spoil what SCPs are in here, because that's part of the fun. The unknown. You'll only play each level blind for the first time once, so I want it to be as good for you as it was for me. I will say though, for fellow EU residents, the servers are mostly based in the US right now, and whilst there are a few EU ones, they're mostly empty. But even with 120 ping, I didn't really notice any bad desync or lag. The respawn mechanics are a bit weird and can detract from the tense situations when you can just respawn after 15 seconds if someone else is left alive. But the developers have said that they're looking into adding checkpoints and splitting up the levels so you can choose to start from a specific point, which is great. And when you die, you lose your customized gun and spawn with the default pistol, and then you're stuck waiting until there's a static gun spawn in the environment because you can't take enemies or fallen allies' weapons for some reason. There's a VoIP in the game, but right now it's a little bit scuffed as everyone's a bit too quiet to be properly understood. I really feel this is a mechanic that needs to be improved sooner rather than later. Whilst there is text chat to communicate with your entire team, it takes away from the tense vibe that the game does so well when you see XX Hentai Enjoyer XX ask what they're meant to be doing. Having good VoIP would really lean more into the milsim element of the game, being able to quickly call out tactics and impromptu commands, and having people being able to vocally react to situations creates an incredibly high level of immersion. And the performance can be quite choppy at times. When there are loads of enemies on the screen and the server has above the regular player count, things can get rather chaotic and stuttery. But I do like being able to have 30 players on a 4-player mission, crank up the enemy count, turn friendly fire on, and watch the chaos unfold. But I will say, they've got a great core foundation here, and I cannot wait to see what they do with the future of this game. Because honestly, there isn't too much else to say right now. It's a really great base, and frankly for how cinematic and fucking cool my first playthrough of Area 12 was, I've basically already got my money's worth. But the fact is that this is just the start for this game fills me with excitement. I'd love to see outfit customization to separate yourself from others in a crowd. I'm really interested to see what SCPs, either new or existing, they add to the game. And I cannot fucking wait to see what new levels they make. Because if they match Area 12's duration and design, they're gonna be awesome. If you were thinking about getting this game, be aware that whilst quality content, the quantity is lacking. But if that's something you can deal with, or like the idea of investing in a game while it's early and getting a better price for it, you can go ahead. I'll await future updates for this game with bated breath and excitement for the future mysteries the community will explore. But for now, that's all from me. Ad Astra agents. I'll see you in the facility.